Okay, it's time to talk about the Motion Lab. So this is a lab that is designed by Vernier, the company, and I just used it mostly as it is in their design, um, with a couple of little tweaks to fit our setup here. So Vernier is the company that makes um, these data loggers, like this Lab Pro, as well as all of the electronic equipment that we use for collecting data, such as motion detectors and photo gates. So this is the drawer that has all of the photo gates in it. It also has these angle clamps, which are necessary, and I'll show how those work in a minute. We have these photo gates that are part of the thing as well, and we drop those through, picket fence. This is called a picket fence. And we drop that through a photo gate in order to find the acceleration of gravity beautifully. We also have a picket fence for a cart. It looks like this. We don't use that for this lab, but we do use that for a different lab. So that's all in the top drawer there. Over here is probably where you will find the Lab Pros. These are the boxes for Lab Pros. They're empty right now because all of the Lab Pros are out around the room. Possibly I will pack them back away in those boxes before I leave. Possibly not. They might be out in a bin instead. But yeah, that's what that looks like. In order for it to work, it needs this. It needs a plug for the USB. This is the main body, and then the power source plugs in back there, and then there's the plug. So the USB port plugs in right there, and I don't know why my camera is not focusing. Sorry about that. But anyway, so that's that. It's basically a USB printer cord. All right, and then the other thing you need for this is the track. And we keep the tracks over here at the end of Lab Bench 4. Like right there. There's 5 more over there right now. I have 1 out here. In order to raise it up, I get just 2 old textbooks. You can use whatever you want for that. You don't have to use textbooks. I really wish I knew why this was not focusing. This is terrible. Maybe if I go here, maybe that helps it focus. I don't really know. Anyway, and then carts. There's 2 different kinds of carts. So we have carts with this thing, and we have carts without that thing. So this one doesn't have that anywhere. So I call that a plunger. Let me show you really quick how to make that plunger go in. All right, you take it, push it all the way in, and then you go like that. So this thing. All right, if you want to let it go, if you want to release it, you push the button on the top. It's very loud. Students will have a blast with this. But then if you need to put it away again, push it in, and then you push this button on the end here. Like that, and it locks it in. Button on top releases it. Okay? All right. So that's that. In order to set up for the picket fence, we use what do you call this? A ring stand, but we're using it without the ring. So we've got just the stand part, and then we have one of those clamps I showed you a couple minutes ago. So you just clamp that in there, like so. And then we have the photo gate. The photo gates all have one of these metal bars in the package with them, and it screws into the end right there. And then we have the actual photo gate itself. So anything that goes through the middle here will break the infrared beam, which comes out from here and goes over to there. Now, it's worth noting, you should know this because it might happen. This beam can be turned off, right, by closing that port. So if that port is closed, this thing will not function, okay? That needs to be open. So they all should be open already, but if somebody's having trouble, you might want to check. maybe that thing's closed. So make sure it's open, okay? It will not work, nothing will happen if it's not open. Also, the cord for this, all right, it's a unique cord in all of the vernier equipment. There's no other cord like it. So it has like a phone wire connector at one end, and that goes in here. All right, I'm not really sure why it has this other port. I've never used that for anything. But it's very confusing because the other end of this actually fits that port. So this is wrong, okay? This does not go in there. In order for this thing to work, you plug in the phone-looking cord at the end. And then this guy plugs in to the Digsonic side of the Vernier Lab Pro, okay? Like that, okay? It plugs in right there, okay? So, not the other side. If you try to put it on the other side, it will not work. That's for a different kind of plug. This one plugs on the Digsonic side. Right. Just like that. Okay? There's also the other thing you need for this lab. Sorry, again, this video is longer than I wanted it to be. Is a motion detector. And the motion detectors, I keep them down here in this drawer. Looks like this. Bam. Also, that one is also a Digsonic, but it's the same. That cord is the same on both ends, so nothing confusing about that. It plugs in here, and it plugs in same place on there. The thing you need to know about this is kind of important because it's confusing. Sorry about the mess. How to plug this in, or how to connect this. All right, so on the bottom of this guy, there is like a place to screw in, and there's a thing here to screw in. So you'd be like, oh hey, we just screw that right in there, right? Wrong. It won't work right. Okay? What you need to do is use this slot. Okay? Like to store these, I always attach the little screwy things at the end because it's nice for storing them. They stay put. You can't store it this way. It doesn't attach, right? But if you want to be able to hook up the thing tightly, you need to use that slot like this, okay? So you have to do it like that. All right, you can do that like that. It'll get nice and tight on there. All right, if you try to do that all the way out here at the end, it will not tighten, okay? It will be loose. All right, so important. All right, store them like this, right out here at the end. Store it like that, okay? But attach it through here. The students need to know that. They need to attach it through this and then into that spot, okay? Now, this thing attaches to the track. Whoops, wrong way. It attaches to the track by going on the bottom, right? Stick it into the track on the bottom there. Like that, and then you can just slide it down on there as far as it needs to go in order for the motion detector to be pointed properly. All right. So when it's actually attached, let's just get you pointed here. Just like this. And then you pop this up, and then you make sure the switch inside is set for the track button, the cart side of the switch instead of the people side of the switch. Okay? Anyway, that's how to set up the motion detector and the cart track and the picket fence and all that stuff. So once this is all set up, you would take this guy and you would drop it exactly like this. Perpendicular, needs to go perpendicular, it needs to not hit anything. right? So you need to make sure the cord is out of the way. And so on. Okay, and then drop it down through there. And then it's ideal if they put some kind of cushion down here. Usually I tell them to use like one of their hoodies or something like that. And they just drop it through here onto that, and then it falls over. Okay, that's all.